tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies.
All right, fasten on your seatbelts tonight, guys. We're going to be on a temperature roller coaster through the end of this week. I'll have more coming up.
Plus, Anthony is in the studio for your national forecast. All that and much, much more as this Thursday, September 21st edition of Size Eyes on the Skies starts right now. Welcome back to Size Eyes. This evening I'm joined by Caleb Wood. So Caleb, how about all this heat out?
You know, this heat's starting to drive me crazy. It feels like more like mid-July than late September. I'm starting to get a little frustrated, you know?
Yeah, especially since fall is pretty much here and the weather is acting like it's midsummer.
I know, I keep seeing the leaves fall off the trees like it's, you know, mid-fall, but it sure doesn't feel like it. And if we take a look at the current temperatures across the state, it looks like a mid-July afternoon with 86 degrees in Ames, and the hot spot being 88 and 89 in Council Bluffs and Sioux City, respectively, over in the western part of the state. As we take a quick look at the drought monitor, still, we have severe drought in the south and southeastern portions of the state, with minor drought spreading northward to Ames, with little rainfall in the forecast. But I'll have more coming up.
All right, now it's time for tonight's weather story. On this day in 1931, a late-season severe weather outbreak struck southeastern Iowa. One storm produced a violent tornado 10 miles southwest of Fairfield and traveled across Jefferson, Henry, and Washington counties before dissipating near Cotter in Lucia County. The tornado killed 2 people and injured 8 others as it completely leveled several farms north of Mobile in southeastern Washington County. Now we turn to Anthony for a look at what's going on around the country. Anthony?
Well, the heat is really taking hold across much of the country. There's even some snow out in the west, and you can see here that's shown on this map, 57 degrees in Boise, 47 degrees in Billings. This is not fall by any means for a lot of the country. As you can see, 90s and 80s spread out across the Midwest and all of the country. We'll have more coming up.
Welcome back. Now we are joined by Anthony with a look at what's happening around the nation. Anthony?
Thanks, Devon. As I mentioned before, really the heat is taking hold, and you're going to feel that as you walk across much of the Midwest today. You can see our current temperatures. Out west, it's a cool 57, but once you head east, 87 degrees in Kansas City, and it really starts to warm up as there's a front out west that's bringing all this heat in. You can see it's 95 degrees in North Platte, 87 degrees in Kansas City. And really, as you continue this trend across much of the country, it's going to warm up, really. You're going to not need the jacket or anything out there. Out in the southeast, it's 86 degrees in New Orleans, 90 degrees in Jackson, 91 in Montgomery. And some portions down here in Florida, it's 85 degrees, but if you can believe it, that's even cooler than some portions up in the Midwest. As you walk outside around the nation right now, it's 79 degrees in Las Vegas, 72 degrees in Cedar City, and 66 in Flagstaff. So a little bit cooler. As I mentioned, there's a front that's kind of draped across this portion of the country. That's leading to those cooler temps behind the front for us. 57 degrees in Boise right now, and it's 42 in Idaho Falls. And if you can believe it right now, there's even some snow out in the west, up in the mountains. This right here paints that picture for you of that front that's draping across the country. There's some rain, snow. It's really a mess out in this portion of the country. There's even some winter weather advisories going on out there that we'll talk about soon. Severe weather outlook for today, Thursday. Really nothing much to talk about. You can see it's just general thunderstorms up in Minneapolis, down through Dallas and Texas, so nothing much to worry about. This time of year we'll get sort of some pop-up storms every so often, but not much going on. Let's zoom it in here for us. Minneapolis, as I mentioned, up as you go up 35 and 94. You might run into some thunderstorms tonight, but nothing in the way of tornadoes, hail, anything that you think of for severe weather. As we advance this here, we're going to head into our watches and warnings, as I mentioned. Red flag warnings posted for portions of the middle of the country. Really dry out there with low relative humidity and high winds, so just not any burning is allowed or should be going on right now as it's dangerous. As you head out west, like I said, there's winter weather advisories going on in September, no less. So this is really driving our story for today. There's a big front out here and then the heat all the way across this portion of the country. Let's check out our GOES 16 satellite. You can see here up in San Juan, these are all clouds that are associated with Hurricane Maria. That's going to be working its way in for portions of the Atlantic Ocean, which has been really busy this time of year. And that's going to be working its way up towards Florida. And as you can see here with our tropical tracker, there's San Juan right there. Up here in the corner, you can see it's Hurricane Maria is going to be a Category 3 storm. Sort of move its way up, and right now we're not seeing any impacts, major impacts for Florida, that is. As we all know, they've had so many hurricane issues to deal with recently. So this is going to go out in the Atlantic, presumably Saturday at 2 p.m. You can see here. It's Category 2 storm, still churning in the Atlantic. It was really a strong storm with winds at 120 miles per hour. Not something you'd want to be dealing with if it was impacting the continental United States. FUTURECAST, as we go through here, our timestamp at 7 a.m. on Friday. As I mentioned, that snow taking hold in Billings. Moving across the country here, that's going to spin, and then this low pressure system is actually going to move its way towards the east and bring some more rain, showers Saturday at 7 a.m. here as we advance the timestamp. Working its way a little bit into Iowa here with some clouds and rain moving in. Saturday at 6:30. There's no game this weekend for us here in Iowa State, but this is still going to be affecting us moving on in. Forecast highs for tomorrow. 82 degrees in Denver with that front pushing a little bit farther east, 89 degrees in Minneapolis, and you can see a general trend here. As you go towards the east of this front, it's going to be warmer. As you go towards the west with that snow, as I mentioned in the warnings, it's going to be a lot colder. So probably jackets out there in the west as opposed to just t-shirts and shorts out there in the Midwest. Our travel city forecast today is Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I mentioned that they were dealing with some storms. Nothing severe at this point. Tomorrow, Thursday, scattered storms, 40% chance, 74. And guys, as we go in towards the rest of the week in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it is really going to start to cool off. Back to you, Devon.
Thank you, Anthony. So speaking with the snowfall, let's take a look at tonight's trivia question, which deals with snowfall. When was the earliest measurable snowfall recorded in Des Moines? Is it A, September 23rd, B, October 10th, C, October 23rd, or D, October 31st? We'll have that answer coming your way coming up. Now let's have a look at what's ahead with the week. Caleb?
We're going to break out those tank tops and shorts for the weekend, but I'll tell you when temperatures begin to fall right back to the normal season coming up. Welcome back to Size Eyes. Tonight I am meteorologist Caleb Wood. So we take a look at the current temperatures. Again, we can see that it was in the mid to upper 80s across much of the state today. But the western half of the state was definitely warmer, and that's a preview of what's to come in the future days. And as I try to click on here, what's going on? Well, we're having technical difficulties right now. I'm trying to advance the slideshow here for us, but I'm not sure quite what's going on here. But anyway, if you guys like summer, you're going to like this forecast. So break out the shorts and tank tops today. Catch some baseball, perhaps. I know the Cubs are still in the playoffs or in the playoff push, so it's definitely good weather to see a baseball game around the state. Maybe catch the iCubs if they're not done yet with their season. But we're working on the technical difficulties behind the scenes here right now. Decorah, look at Decorah, is 79 degrees. All right, there we go. Finally, on the satellite and radar. Again, we can see the clearing sky in Iowa. When we see the remnants of the low pressure that gave us a big storms. No? Keep going. Big storms. So, okay, if we take a look at the current conditions in Ames, it's 84 degrees with strong south wind pumping up those temperatures to a heat index of 90 degrees with that high dew point really making it feel humid in the area right now. Take a closer look at satellite radar. Again, we had a mostly clear day with those clouds exiting with the low pressure system to our east, and we'll expect the same conditions into the future days here. If we take a look at the estimated rainfall map over the past 12 hours through last night, we can see areas shaded in blue represent areas of 6 to 8 inches just in the past 12 hours near Ottumwa. But luckily, that's where they need it, down in the drought area. We take a look at the actual numeric rainfall reports. Again, Ottumwa, just over 6 inches of rain, exactly what they needed yesterday. Davenport, about 4.5 inches. New London going on 4 inches. And even Bloomfield, right on 2 inches of rain. Very good news for the state. Taking a look at temperatures right now again, we're in the mid-80s, but I'll expect us cooling off only into the upper 60s tonight with a warm, muggy air mass in place. Again, we can see those mid-90s down in central Kansas. That's a preview of what's to come as the air mass makes its way towards the northeast and takes place in our neck of the woods tomorrow. In terms of FUTURECAST here, it's going to be a quiet night heading into the overnight hours. As we advance into Friday morning, again, we're expecting mostly sunny skies for that sunrise tomorrow, heading all the way through the afternoon and into Friday night, with the rain passing well to the north and west of the state. So estimated rainfall again, we're going to be clear for your Friday, nothing to worry about there. Again, South Dakota might get a few showers, but nothing to worry about in Iowa. All right, so the forecast lows tonight. I'm expecting 68 degrees in Ames, 71 in Des Moines, both well above the normal average, about 55 degrees. And as we take a look at the low forecast tonight on campus here, we're going to be partly cloudy, warm and breezy, 72 degrees because that dew point is right at 72, and we cannot go below the dew point with those south winds going up to 20 miles per hour. Forecast highs tomorrow. Tomorrow I think it's going to be the warmest day of the week. 92 both in Ames and Des Moines. That could be pushing some all-time records in those locations. And again, all across the state, it's going to be in the upper 80s to maybe even mid-90s. Very, very abnormal day, climate-wise. So tomorrow's going to be a mostly sunny day, 92. A northwest wind, 8 to 10 miles per hour. That'll start to drive down the temperatures for the weekend, but not by much. As we look at the extended forecast, again, we're looking at low to mid-90s for the weekend, but once the rain comes on Tuesday and the cold front, we're going to drop all the way down to the 40s for lows and 60s for highs, much more like September weather.
Thank you, Caleb. So let's have another look at tonight's weather question. When was the earliest measurable snowfall recorded in Des Moines? Was it A, September 23rd, B, October 10th, C, October 23rd, and D, October 31? So Anthony, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm sort of leaning towards October 31st just because I love Halloween and it seems like a perfect fit for it.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Caleb?
Let's see here. I'm going to say October 23rd.
So we have our bets. So let's take a look at what the answer is. And the answer is B, October 10th. Yeah, Des Moines and surrounding areas got just over an inch of snowfall, marking it the earliest snowfall rate. I doubt any snowfall will be falling in Iowa at this time with how hot it's been.
I wish. I'm starting to miss it. Granted,
Yeah.
I have a car on campus this year, so I don't miss the driving in the snow, but I always like seeing it come down.
Very true. Portions of the mountains out west and stuff are going to be dealing with that, but nothing for us here. We're just hanging in that hot, humid, moist air mass. So.
Sure thing.
And to think that tomorrow is going to be the first day of fall, too.
Yeah, it's certainly not feeling like it. The humidity's up there and it's hot.
I think the world's a little confused right now. It's starting to look like it a little bit with the leaves on the ground, but it definitely does not feel like the time of year it should be.
No, not at all.
Well, that concludes tonight's show. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. You can find every show on YouTube under Size Eyes channel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.